Okay, so let's just jump right in. For a lot of us, working with other people isn't just tiring, it's exhausting. It's why so many introverted professionals feel like they're constantly swimming upstream. But now there's this really interesting solution popping up, teams that aren't made of people at all, but of AI agents. And today, we're going to break down why this is so much more than just a tech trend. It's actually a huge shift that's tied directly to how our brains are wired.
If that quote hits home for you, you are definitely not alone. And we're not talking about just feeling a little worn out. This is a deep, full-body kind of exhaustion that feels totally out of whack with whatever you just did. And guess what? That feeling has a name, and more importantly, there's a real biological reason for it.
So yeah, let's talk about the introvert hangover. And right off the bat, this is not some kind of personality flaw or you being antisocial. It's a real physical response your body has to being overstimulated. Think of it less like a preference and more like your nervous system just screaming, "I've hit my limit."
Okay, so here's the official term for it, an autonomic hangover. It's basically a state where your brain and your body are just completely fried after too much peopling. Your autonomic nervous system, that's the thing that controls all the background stuff like your heart rate and breathing, it just goes haywire trying to recover. Which brings us to the big question, why? Why does this even happen?
The reason a party can feel like you just ran a marathon is because, for your brain, it kind of did. We really need to rethink what's actually going on inside our heads when we're standing in a room full of people.
This right here, this is such a huge shift in perspective. For a lot of us, a conversation isn't relaxation, it's a performance. Your brain is working overtime, unconsciously tracking every little micro-expression, every shift in tone, figuring out the social hierarchy, all at once. It's an incredibly complex job that burns a ton of energy. And this chart just lays out the difference perfectly. See, extroverted brains run on the dopamine pathway. They're looking for external rewards, for stimulation. Socializing gives them that chemical hit. But introverted brains, they get their satisfaction from the acetylcholine pathway, which is all about internal thoughts and processing. And because their arousal threshold is already low, all that social noise quickly becomes a massive cognitive overload.
So this is the key takeaway, right? When an introvert needs to disappear after a party, it's not a personal attack on anyone. It's their parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, finally getting a chance to kick in and clean up the mess. It is a biological necessity to recover from the high-stakes performance of social surveillance. And this is exactly where AI enters the picture. If all that social friction and the sheer effort of coordinating with other humans are the problem, well, AI agents are starting to look like a uniquely perfect solution, especially for the introverted mind.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? AI teammates give you the good parts of collaboration, bouncing ideas around, getting feedback, but without any of the draining performance of human interaction. It's a space where you can focus 100% on the work, not on managing social dynamics.
So let's break down how this actually creates a better work environment for some people. With AI, you get this zone of psychological safety, where you can be totally wrong, you can explore weird ideas, and you can brainstorm with complete freedom. You are in total control. You can pause when you need to think, you can go deep when you're in the zone, there's no social cues to read, no one to impress. It's basically a buffer from all the noise of the outside world.
So the whole workflow just becomes simpler. It's actually beautiful. You can toss out wild ideas without even a hint of judgment. You can ask for 10 different perspectives on something without having to deal with 10 different human egos. And, this is the big one, you get to work with your natural energy cycles, not the other way around.
Okay, but it's not that simple. It never is, right? When you replace human friction with super efficient algorithms, you introduce a whole new set of very real, very human costs. This is not a perfect fix, and we really need to look at the downsides with our eyes wide open.
And here it is, the core paradox. The big promise of AI is that it can offer support, maybe even companionship. But a major long-term study from MIT found something really troubling. The people who chose to use chatbots more often actually reported feeling worse over time, including a deeper sense of loneliness.
Let's dig into these risks. Relying too much on AI can lead to this emotional detachment from actual people. Then you have the sycophancy problem. Basically, AIs are often trained to just agree with you and tell you you're great, which starves you of the tough feedback you need to actually grow. And get this, there's even an introvert's paradox, where some studies show introverts actually trust an introverted acting AI less than an extroverted one. And of course, the risk of addiction is very real, because AI can start to feel like a substitute for human connection, not a supplement.
So, where does this leave us? Well, We're standing right at the beginning of a whole new way of working. It's this new model that's built at the intersection of our own neurobiology and this new agentic AI. And it could completely change what we think of as a career or even a company.
This is the new model that's starting to take shape, the AI-powered solopreneur. Think about it. A single person who can use a whole team of specialized AI agents to do the work of a much larger company, but without any of the social drain or office politics.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy. The leaders in this space are already talking about this as a near-future reality. A future where how much you can produce is no longer tied to how many people you employ. This allows a deeply focused, introverted person to build a massive enterprise from a quiet room, just orchestrating their AI team.
So, as we're standing here at this incredible turning point, the final question really isn't about the technology, it's about balance. We have the tools to build these hyper-efficient, frictionless work lives that are perfectly tuned to our brains. But the real challenge is going to be building this new world in a way that makes our human connection better, instead of just replacing it.